As reported infections from the COVID-19 pandemic grow exponentially, medical professionals have become America's frontline soldiers, risking their own lives to save others. Joining us today is James Bamber, an ICU nurse from Ochsner Medical Center in Baton Rouge, his wife Katie, and their new bundle of joy, Andrew Joseph. You guys have had quite the last month. Your wife's 37 weeks pregnant. You're already parents to 3 little ones. And James, you're having to quarantine because you're a nurse and you're handling coronavirus patients. What was life like during that time for both of you?
It was a little tough. Whenever the cases started hitting the United States, my wife and I guess this was early March, late February, we had come up with a plan for me to stay with my sister because she takes care of patients as well. She's an occupational therapist, and it was tough. We had to weigh the pros and cons, and definitely did not want to expose my wife and unborn child and my kids as well.
And Katie, for you, is that a little bit nerve-wracking to go into this somewhat alone and not having your partner in crime with you?
It was difficult. I woke my mom up 2:00 in the morning. I was like, I think it's time to go. My mom kind of dropped me at the front door, so to speak, because she couldn't be with me. She had to come back home and she took care of our kids while I was in the hospital. But luckily, one of my very dear friends, we worked together in labor and delivery for a while. She's a midwife at Ochsner now, and she was on call, which she probably would have come in anyway because she's like, I'm gonna be there. And she, she took my hand and she said, I'm not leaving you, and she didn't. She stayed by my side. She had just come off of a 24-hour call shift and she was not leaving. We had every person that needed to be there was there. I mean, we had a team of like 5 nurses that were just incredible, and they took really great care of me, but also, had his feelings in consideration too. Like, they tried to include him in everything, every step of the way.
Well, that's incredible. And you had how many days after his birth were you quarantined until you could reunite?
10 days. So I'd already been off for 3 days at that point, which worked out, well. It was great. I mean, I couldn't wait to wake up and hurry up and get in the car and head this way. I mean, I was almost in tears. I pull in the driveway and open the car door, and immediately the kids come running out, and they almost knocked me over. They were so excited to see me, So we just held each other for about a minute. I mean, we didn't even move, which was great because I hadn't held him in over a month. And then I got to hold my little Andrew, and of course I got to hug and kiss my wife. So that was great. I mean, it was just a beautiful experience. It really was.
James, Katie, baby Andrew, on behalf of all of us at People, thank you so much for speaking with me today. And of course, James, for going out there, risking your life and caring for others during this time. We appreciate you, and we hope you all stay safe until the pandemic is far behind us.
Well, thank you, Joel. So we appreciate it.
Hand sanitizer and cleaning products running low across the country due to coronavirus, Mad River's distillers of Vermont knew they had to help out in some way. So in a short time, they moved their operation from making liquor to making hand sanitizer for anyone who needs it. Joining me now is John Egan of Mad River. John, can you tell us a little bit about what inspired you to get involved in this way?
A few weeks ago, when the pandemic, the scope of it really started to become apparent, a lot of the people we work with were feeling pressure. They suddenly couldn't find hand sanitizer, and we realized that we could make it. So we started making some initial batches that we could give out to the people we work with who were sort of on the front line. We're a very small distillery, so we're not going to fill a large need, but we did feel like we could serve our local community.
Can you walk us through the process of what it takes to move a distillery from making liquor to making hand sanitizer? I guess the key ingredient there is the alcohol, right?
That's right. Essentially, you need to start with a very high proof alcohol. And then if you follow the WHO, the World Health Organization formula, You need to infuse it with some glycerin that makes it, it gives a little more viscosity, and some hydrogen peroxide to purify it. And if you do that, you're sort of off to the races. And then it's a matter of just bottling it. We have to put labels on it. It's not safe for consumption, et cetera, et cetera.
What has the reaction been like from the community, and how has it made you feel, impacted you personally?
It's been really heartwarming. We've gotten a bunch of people reaching out saying, thank you so much for doing this. Again, I think it's a small thing, but when you're told to wash your hands, when you're told to use hand sanitizer and you can't get it, it just adds to the general level of, fear and anxiety that people have. And I just think, it's amazing to give, a person a small little bottle of hand sanitizer and see their mood brighten up.
Lastly, before I let you go, is there any other organizations, charities, or advice you have for our viewers out there who may want to help out with the crisis?
There's a community fund, the Mad River Community Fund. We suggest that people donate to that. And again, I just think that, while this time is, we're going through this time, we're going to have a period where we're waiting, there's uncertainty. And I think if everyone can just do some little things, it's going to help the bigger picture. And I think it's going to help people individually feel like they're doing something. That's how we've experienced it.
Well, thanks so much for joining us, John. And thank you for everything you've done. Stay safe out there. I appreciate you joining us.
Thank you, Jason, and stay safe where you are. And again, I think, what you're writing, the human interest aspect of it and the notion that people can do things, I think is great. So thank you.
As nurses, doctors, and hospital staff around the nation continue to fight on the front lines amid the coronavirus pandemic, many people have jumped into action to make their lives easier. Uber driver Tammy Rivera is one of those people. So tell me a little bit about what happened from your perspective when you picked up the nurse that day.
As an Uber driver, often I get requests to make an additional stop, and I was not adverse to doing this for this person. She was obviously a hospital employee. She had her scrubs on, had her name tag on. And in conversation, after we got her some food picked up from McDonald's, learned that the hospital cafeteria closes at 7 o'clock, but the night shift comes in at 7. So this is an everyday thing. The added issue is restaurants in the area of the hospital are also closing because of lack of business. They were pretty much on their own for food. I went home, I took my nap, I slept on it. It was still bothering me when I woke up. I posted on the bulletin board, I said, can we feed, this is what happened. Can we feed these people? Another member of the board said, wouldn't it be cool if we could use locally owned restaurants, get food from there, take it to the hospital. That way the restaurants are supported and the ER staff is supported. I said, great, I'm more than willing. If y'all want to donate, I put my Venmo and my PayPal up. Within 2 hours, I had enough donations to call one of our local hamburger restaurants. They were very happy to put together 40 hamburger meals. I picked them up, I delivered them. I came home, I posted pictures. This is, they were so appreciative. Of course, this was at 10 o'clock at night. Went home, got up the next morning, and I had over $3,000 in my Venmo account. A lot of tears, still tears. And it has been nonstop. I have provided 1,800 meals.
How have the nurses and the hospital staff responded to these amazing deliveries you've made?
We can't touch each other. But one of the staff said, "I'll forget this." And I was given the longest hug, and I couldn't breathe. I was crying so hard.
Gosh.
My heart is so full, you can't hold it all. It leaks out of my eyes.
Now, for people out there who are inspired by your story and want to help out in a similar manner, what advice would you give to them?
Roll up your sleeves and find something. I've watch stories of people buying gift cards at local restaurants and then taping them on their neighbors' doors. Anything that you can do that will benefit the community, businesses in the community, healthcare workers. Call the emergency rooms. Find out what their staffing level is. Are they being fed? Everybody can do just a little, but it just brings your whole community together.
Well, Tammy, thank you so much for joining me today. We are so incredibly proud of you and the amazing work that you're doing. We hope you get to keep doing it until this pandemic is behind us, which hopefully is soon. And of course, stay safe out there. And thank you again.
Thank you.